All right, hello and welcome. Today we're diving into something super common, but also kind of misunderstood. We're talking about hand injuries, specifically what happens when you need an extensor tendon repair and what that whole journey really looks like.
So let me ask you this. What does a simple little cut in the kitchen have in common with a big-time sports injury? I mean, they seem worlds apart, right? Well, the answer is actually hiding right under the skin on the back of your hand.
And yep, that answer is your extensor tendon. The best way to picture these things? Think of them like thin but really powerful cables. They're basically the engine that lets you do simple stuff like open your hand, give a wave, or point at something. And the fact that they run right along the back of your hand and fingers, that is the key detail in this whole story.
Okay, so first things first. Before we can even talk about the repair, we've got to understand the injury itself. Let's dig into how this actually happens.
See, because these tendons are sitting right there, just under the skin, they're way more vulnerable than you'd think. The usual suspects? Honestly, it's everyday stuff. A knife slips while you're chopping veggies, you break a glass, you get a cut on the back of your hand. But of course, bigger things can cause it too, like a crush injury, a punch, or something that happens playing sports. The big takeaway here is this. Even a cut that looks kind of minor on the surface can be deep enough to slice right through one of these super important tendons.
So, let's say you think you've hurt one. What's next? Well, getting the right diagnosis is absolutely step number one. It's critical.
Okay, so diagnosing this really comes down to two things. What you feel and what a doctor can actually see. From your side of things, you might be feeling pain, noticing swelling, or, and this is the big one, you just can't straighten your finger all the way. Maybe you even felt a little snap when it happened. Now the doctor, they're going to be looking for the hard evidence. That classic droopy finger, tenderness if they press right over the tendon, or just a change in the way your hand naturally rests.
Now listen up, because there are some serious red flags here. If you've got an open cut and you can literally see the whitish tendon, or if you completely lose the ability to lift your finger, or you're feeling numbness or tingling, or you have a deep cut that just won't stop bleeding, this is not a wait and see kind of thing. That is your signal to get urgent medical help, like right now.
Okay, so the diagnosis is in. The next question is pretty obvious, right? How do we fix it? Let's walk through what the surgery actually looks like.
The surgery itself is actually a really neat, precise process. First, the surgeon has to find both ends of that broken tendon. Step 2, they use these tiny, fine stitches to meticulously sew those two ends back together. Third, they close up the skin over the top of the repair. And last, and this is so important, they put on a protective splint. The whole point is to create this perfectly safe little bubble for the tendon to heal up.
Now look, any surgery is going to have some risks. It's just a fact. Stiffness is a really common one, and that's usually because of something called adhesions. It's basically internal scar tissue that can kind of glue the tendon down and stop it from gliding smoothly. That's a huge part of what hand therapy is for, to break that up. Now the more serious risks are rare, but you've got to know about them. Things like the tendon tearing again, getting an infection, or a nasty condition called CRPS, that's complex regional pain syndrome. And honestly, these risks are exactly why following all those post-op instructions to the letter is just non-negotiable.
And that leads us perfectly into what I would say is, without a doubt, the most important piece of this entire puzzle, the road to recovery. Here's the thing. The surgery puts the pieces back together, but your surgeon can't do the healing for you. And that's the absolute truth about recovery. Its success, really, it all comes down to one person, you, and how committed you are to the plan.
I mean, this quote really says everything you need to know. Non-compliance is the leading cause of re-injury. Think about what that means. Just ignoring the rules, even for a second, is the #1 reason these repairs fail. For the first few weeks, that tendon is only held together by those tiny stitches. It has zero strength of its own. Any wrong move, any unprotected force can just pop it right apart.
So what does that recovery actually look like in practice? Well, this timeline is a pretty good roadmap. For the first week or two, you'll have a follow-up visit, and you'll probably start some really gentle, very controlled movements with a hand therapist. Then, around that 6 to 8 week mark, it's time to start strengthening. And by about 3 or 4 months, you're getting back to most of your normal activities, but keep in mind, getting all your strength back can take even longer.
So when we say compliance, what do we actually mean? It means this. The splint stays on at all times, no exceptions. It means no gripping, no lifting, no typing, nothing until your doctor gives you the green light. That repair is just so fragile at the beginning. One wrong move, just one, can tear those stitches and undo everything the surgeon just did.
All right, last but not least, as you're going through your recovery, it's super important to know what to watch out for. So let's go over the key warning signs you need to know about after surgery.
Think of this as your personal checklist. You need to call your surgeon's office right away if you see any signs of infection. We're talking redness that's spreading, the area feeling warm, or any drainage from the wound. Call them if you get a fever. And absolutely, 100%, call them if you feel a sudden pop and then you can't straighten your finger anymore. Same thing goes for a sharp spike in pain or if there's an issue with your splint. Whatever it is, don't wait on it.
So let's wrap this up with the most important takeaway. Yes, the recovery takes a lot of discipline, there's no doubt about it. But the outcome? It's almost always a really positive one. With a good surgery and a patient who is dedicated to their rehab, the huge majority of people get back strong, functional use of their hand. You know, an injury like this, it becomes a part of your story. But it doesn't get to be the last word. Armed with the right information and your own commitment, you are the one in control of what happens next. So the only question left is, are you ready to write that next chapter?